to start with giving you an update on the performance of the market today. The NSE All Share Index up 0.83%, closing at 35,782. Now, this represents a year-to-date performance of 27.43%. Total value traded down 9.25% to 4.6 billion. Total volume traded went up 0.38 to 392 million units. Now, we saw gains in Nestle, Guinness, Unilever, Nigerian breweries, losses in Julius Berger, GTB, NACO. Now, joining us to discuss the activities in the equities market, we have Dayo Ayeni, equity research at CSL Stockbrokers. Dayo, it's great to have you on the show. Let's start by discussing the performance of the market today. Of course, lots of analysts expected the rally to continue in today's session as we see sustained interest in large cap counters. So your thoughts on the performance today?
Thank you very much for having me. The market today gained 83 basis points, just like you rightly said, and was driven largely by gains in the large cap consumer names such as Nigerian breweries, Guinness, Flour Mills of Nigeria, Unilever, as well as Cadbury.
Okay, now let's quickly move on to Q1 results from Dangote Sugar out. Revenue up 1.9% to 27.6 billion. Profit after tax up 23.2% to 3.5 billion. Give us your thoughts on the results.
I think the result by Dangote Sugar is an impressive one, given the fact that last year it was just a standalone company, and the reporting for Q1 2013 that we just received was for the group as well, considering the acquisition of Savannah Sugar. While taking into cognizance the fact that top line hardly moved in terms of company, but profits declined just marginally because the company soaked in about 351 million of administrative costs from the acquisition of Savannah.
Okay, now we saw the market react to the result, to stock down 0.4%, which is certainly surprising. It looks like, of course, the market has not responded positively to that news. Do you expect to see a change going forward?
Yes, I do, because, and this has to do with the reporting by the company. The first column that you have right there in the result that was released talked about the group, then the other three columns that follows mentions company. Just comparing them side by side, you think that there was a decline in EPS, but actually it's the reverse. The 22% year-on-year increase has to compare the company numbers for last year and the group companies for the current period.
Now, when we look at stocks in that food product sector, most of them declined in trading today. Dangote, Flour, Honeywell, Nascon all down. In fact, besides Flour Mill, most of them went down. So it looks like, of course, that sector has not responded well to the results. So going forward, what are your expectations for the sector?
I expect some of those stocks that you mentioned now to pay back the losses that we saw today. And that is just on the back of the fact that some of these companies haven't released their Q1 numbers as yet. And Dangote Sugar, I believe that once the market takes into cognizance the issues that I mentioned in terms of how you interpret the numbers, that the loss that we saw today would be reversed as well.
I'd like to move on to the brewery sector. Nigerian breweries recently announcing that it will maintain 60-40 ratio, of course, paying out 60% of its profit. Now, give us some more insight into this.
Okay, this statement was made by the CFO of Nigerian Breweries yesterday at the 2012 Analyst presentation that was held at a hotel somewhere in Lagos. So the 60% dividend payout that you saw that was mentioned in dailies for today was in reaction to a question by a pressman, and that is just on the back of the fact that the company has some expansion plans for the rest of the year, and that also runs into 2014, and this is basically its expansion of its Aba plant by a factor of 2, is increasing that capacity by 100%.
Okay,
so the company needs a tighter management of capital. Yeah.
Dayo, now very, very quickly, we saw that stock go up 2.1%. Is that in relation to the news?
Yes, yes. The stock went up 3.5% today, and that's just because after talking to management, you get the sense that the initial feel for the stock that we had prior to them presenting us the numbers yesterday wasn't quite the exact case, because the company said, Heineken in its trading updates for Q1 had said that volume declined in Nigeria by about 5%, but just talking to management yesterday, you get the sense that the company has that under control right now, and that going forward that they expect to see volumes recover.
Okay, Dayo, let's leave it there. Thanks for coming on the show. That was, of course, Dayo Ayeni, equity research at CSL Stockbrokers.